All right, it's 12:05, just past midnight. The Oscars just happened, and I want to talk about it because a lot of historic things happen. In order to best do that and release this quickly, I'm going to try to edit this as little as possible. So I apologize if my words are not as well thought out as they might be with a lot of edits, or this video isn't the most appealing. I promise you I do a better job when I have more time to put the edits together. So, if you do want to hear more of my thoughts on movies, please like and subscribe. Check out my other videos. But I did just want to rattle off some thoughts on tonight's Academy Awards. The big story of the night is definitely Everything Everywhere All at Once. This film did incredible. I think it won 7 or 8 awards. I should have wrote that down. But a lot after 11 nominations, the most of the night by far, followed by All Quiet on the Western Front, which we'll get to. But yeah, I mean, this was my second favorite movie of last year. My first being After Sun, which is a film that got one acting nomination and wasn't going to do anything beyond that, which I accepted. You know, it's a very personal film for me. It's not a mass appealing movie to everyone, especially Academy voters. So Everything Everywhere All at Once was the movie I was rooting for at these Oscars. And it's so weird over the past couple weeks to see the momentum that it's gained and how it resonated with so many people, not just me. Especially being released a year ago, which is crazy. It's crazy that a movie that was released a year ago still has this much steam and is potentially at its peak of popularity right now. That just doesn't always happen. A lot of Oscar movies are released at the end of the year intentionally so that it's the last thing on your brain going into voting season. So the fact that it was released in March of 2022 and is now winning in March 2023 is crazy. So congrats to the Daniels, everyone involved. When Ke Huy Quan won pretty early on, I think they started that off because that was just a lock. No one was surprised that he won, and they wanted just like a great motivational speech to start the night, and he delivered. I had tears in my eyes. I have seen this dude give so many speeches over the past month or so, and every single one is so well thought out. He's a great communicator, and I'm so happy he had his moment. Michelle Yeoh as well. I know the race was really between her and Cate Blanchett, who I think had a lot of momentum, like, you know, end of December going into the new year, but for some reason, Michelle Yeoh just picked it up. And I'm happy for her. I'm definitely a little bummed because I think Tar deserves a lot more recognition. It got completely snubbed. It didn't win any single award. I don't know what it would have won because every award I think it lost. I don't disagree with the outcome of who the winner was in that respective category. But still, I think it deserved something. I just love Tar so much. But yes, Michelle Yeoh, I'm very happy for. It's amazing to see her get her recognition. The one I'm a little iffy about is Jamie Lee Curtis, and I don't think that's a hot take. I've seen a lot of people kind of say the same thing, where I don't know, like, she was great in that movie. So was Stephanie Hsu. Like, she was even better in that film. And I would have honestly chose almost any other supporting actress that was nominated other than Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, a lot of people are saying, like, this is her legacy Oscar, that she deserved it from having years in the industry. I just don't know if I buy that. Like, the Halloween franchise is huge. Yeah, she did Freaky Friday and True Lies, right? I get all these things that she did. It's just like a weird win for me. And, you know, I think Angela Bassett was the favorite up until a couple weeks ago, or even days ago, maybe. And so I think it would have been great for her to win, or like literally anyone else. So that's the one I'm a little iffy on. But everyone else, every other award that Everything Everywhere All at Once won, congratulations. I think it was great. All Quiet on the Western Front, though, that's an interesting one. And you could kind of see, at least following on Twitter, the momentum swing. No one really had a lot of complaints about that movie, at least that vocally, because I think it was just a whatever film for a lot of people. Like, some people really enjoyed it. A lot of other people, myself included, were just kind of like neutral. Like, yeah, it's a solid war movie with great cinematography. War is bad, we get it. But once this started picking up steam and all these awards that people thought should have gone to Babylon or maybe other things involved, I think people were a little concerned that I was going to win Best Picture. I never had that concern, and I do think it did steal some awards. I do think Babylon should have won Best Score. I think the cinematography is still really beautiful, and so I don't hate that it won some awards. The only other film that won multiple awards was The Whale, and I know the hair and makeup was a big surprise. I personally probably would have picked Elvis, or maybe anything else. But I'm so happy that Brendan Fraser got his Oscar. I think he was super deserving. I know Austin Butler is also very deserving, and I did enjoy his performance in Elvis. I just like Brendan Fraser a little bit more, just like a tad bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with that one. I know that's another very tight race that people weren't sure where it was going to go. We had a couple just single award winners like Top Gun, Avatar, Black Panther, Women Talking, which I love the Women Talking winning. I think every single one of those films deserved those awards that they won. So I'm very excited. I think I kind of wish Top Gun would have won another one or so, just because I think that film was so monumental to 2022. But I'm glad it got something. Then there were the snubs, and there were a lot of snubs. Here's everything that got shut out, okay? I already said Tar, Banshees of Inisherin, Fabelmans, Elvis, Triangle of Sadness. These are big movies. Well, maybe not so much Triangle of Sadness, but I personally love Triangle of Sadness. But all these other ones, like, these were big favorites at some point. I mean, like, Banshees of Inisherin could have won an acting award or two. Tar, Fabelmans, Elvis, those were all at one point closer to the top of potentially winning Best Picture. And so the fact that all of these walked away with 0, it's kind of insane. And I don't necessarily like hate that they walked away with 0, because I don't know what they would have won instead. I think maybe you could have given like Best Director to like Steven Spielberg, or perhaps like a screenplay could have gone another way, but for the most part, I don't know what I would change here. I just do think it's a bummer that they're going to walk out with a big 0. Another thing I've seen a lot of people talk about, and I really agree with, is that Charlie Dean didn't get announced like at all in the in memoriam, which is really odd considering she was like the lead actress in a Best Picture nominated movie, and that was Triangle of Sadness. She was incredible in the film, and the fact that she passed away so young with such a bright future ahead of her and such a bright career ahead of her, I think that's a real shame on the Academy's part. And I don't know what goes in, the behind the scenes of putting things together. So I want to assume the best in people and that this wasn't like malicious or anything like that. But I still think like you got to do a better job. You got to at least look at the Best Picture nominated movies this year and see, hey, is there anyone who is not here with us that it should be? But yeah, for the most part, I think the award show was fine. I think Jimmy Kimmel did a perfectly adequate job. Nothing over the top, nothing too controversial, and I think that's what the Oscars wanted. I think the past couple of years, it's just felt weird. Obviously, 2 years ago, like the peak COVID year, where everything was just weird about the Oscars, even the format itself. I think we're past that. We moved on. Last year, not quite there. I think a lot of the choices for the winners of the awards aren't ones I particularly loved, and obviously the Oscars were a mess last year. I think this year, it's going back on the right track. Overall, I thought it was a great night. I'm so happy for Everything Everywhere All at Once. It has been interesting watching the turn of that film and seeing a lot of people come out of the woodwork to now not like that film and be very vocal about that. Honestly, I think in some ways winning the Best Picture Oscar is going to hurt it in some ways, because if you haven't seen the film yet, you are now walking in with that expectation. I think sometimes the films that like just barely miss Best Picture or get snubbed almost have a better reputation because people walk into that saying this should have won. So I do worry that could happen with this film, especially because I love it so much, and it seems like now people are going to be overly critical with it. So I hope that doesn't happen, and I hope this is a good thing for the film industry, because I think this film does a lot of incredible things that could be good for the future of Hollywood. So, I mean, those are my thoughts on the Oscars. Again, this is just a very quick hitting video. Hopefully, I got it all. What did you think? Were there any snubs you were upset about? What was your favorite win? Comment below. I want to hear all of your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you next time.